Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are watching a game that was played in tournament in Germany in 1988 between Walker Herbert, who was playing with white, and Karsten Lon, who was playing with black pieces. What is so unique about this game is that white opened the game in King's Gambit, and as you all know, King's Gambit is one of the most riskiest openings in chess, and it didn't turn out well for white. White ended with his king on the enemy's part of the board. Truly a spectacular checkmate, as you saw from the thumbnail, and a game you should have in mind if you'd like to play against King's Gambit, and also if you like playing King's Gambit. It's a really risky opening, so this is a good line to maybe have in your repertoire if you end up in King's Gambit. Without further ado, we will go straight into the game. So white opened the game with e4, black replied with e5, we have f4 King's Gambit accepted by black, we have knight c3 for white, and we immediately have queen h4 check for black. White now decided to go with his king because nothing else here is pretty much good. In this sort of variation you have to move your king because b3 simply gives a pawn because your rook is under attack. Our game continued with d5 for black, black sacrifices another pawn, white accepts this, he picks up this pawn, we continue with bishop g4 check. For now the position is equal, white is slightly better, but that's it pretty much. We have knight f3 for white, the only move, and now black sacrifices his rook. He plays knight c6, completely ignoring this threat on c7. White gladly accepts, knight picks up on c7 check, and right now king goes on d8, and white picks up a rook from the black. And white now has huge material advantage. The game continues with f5 for black, black now wants to attack in the center, and right now e takes on f5, a mistake by white. White got a bit greedy, he opened the e file, which is not good. The best move here after f5 was actually queen e1 to try and equal the game. But white got greedy and he thinks that he has enough pieces around his king, there is no way black can attack. Rook is nowhere near here, so that was the white's calculation. Our game continued with knight d4 for black check. Right now this knight is pinned, you cannot pick it up. King goes on d3, and right now black continues the attack with bishop f5 check. Right now the position is equal and white plays king c3. Now I wanted to show you some critical lines after bishop f5. If white decides to pick up this knight, then this leads to a forced checkmate, firstly with queen f6 check. Right now if the king goes on c4, we continue with queen d6, right now putting the cage around white king, and white can continue for example with d4. If white continues with d4, we have queen b4 check. This queen is protected by this bishop. Right now king goes on d5, we have bishop d6, right now again putting this king in a cage, and we are threatening checkmate with knight f6, and there is no way white can defend from this checkmate. Whatever he does, for example c4, knight f6 is the checkmate, so completely no way of stopping this checkmate. Now I want to show you some other critical lines. So after queen d6, if instead of d4 you decide to play a3, then we continue with bishop e6 check, then we have king c3, we continue with queen c5 check, right now king goes on d3, and queen c4 is another checkmate. So there is no way you can stop this checkmate. Of course there was another way to play this after queen f6. So if you decide to block with your knight, we have queen d6 check, then after king c4, queen b4 check, king d5, and queen c5 is another checkmate. So there is no way of stopping the checkmate, and king c3 is the right move, and this keeps position as an equal. Of course if black doesn't find the move, which he finds, and that is queen e7, which keeps the advantage for black. Right now white continues with a3. Again after queen e7, if you decide to pick up this knight, queen c5 is checkmate. White king is really awkwardly put and every square is covered by the black pieces, so this would be a mistake. a3 is played by the white since he is scared of this queen b4 checkmate idea, so we continue with bishop picking up on c2. After bishop c2, white continues with queen e1, and still there was a way to continue and draw this endgame for white. Of course white is not a computer, so it's kind of hard when you have your king in the center of the board. Black continues with queen c5 check, we have bishop c4 blocking this attack, and right now black continues with b5, right now attacking this pinned piece. The one move that draws the game is actually b3, which wasn't played in the game. Queen f1 was played in the game, and this loses on the spot because black has this attack with b4 check, and after you pick up this, we continue with queen picking up on b4. Right now you are forced to pick up this knight, and after bishop c5 check, you are forced to go on d5. Or actually no, you are not forced, you have other options, but they all lead to checkmate. Our game continued with knight f6 check, king e6, king goes in the black's camp, rook e8 check, king f7, rook e7 check, king f8, and beautiful rook d7 is checkmate. Look at the white king, he traveled a long distance to come to this square here, and truly amazing checkmate. Of course, this is not all. I will now show you another variation here. So after bishop c5, king went on d5, but let's say after bishop c5, king goes on e5, then we continue with queen b8 check, and after king goes on d5, we continue with queen d6 checkmate. After queen b8, of course, white has another option, he can go on e6, but then again queen d6 is check, and after king goes on f7, queen f6 is checkmate. So there is nothing he can do. After knight f6 check, king went on e6. Again, if he goes on e5, the same motif goes for black, queen b8 check, king e6, and after queen d6 check, king is forced to go on f7, and queen e7 is checkmate. And this is how this game ended, and this is all I have prepared for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and share this video, as this really helps the growth of my channel. Of course, if you have some other suggestions, maybe I missed something in this analysis, please let me know. This could happen, and I will gladly answer your questions. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other in the next video. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.